Are you in a phase right now where you are absolutely fed up with men? Trust me, I get it. Trust me, I get it. You are not alone in this, by the way. And today we're going to talk about how to date men when you hate men. I think I can make this episode over and over and over again because the amount of us that are sometimes our own worst enemies of what we're attracting into our lives. But we're going to get into how to make that mindset shift so that you can start attracting better. Welcome back to another episode of Way Too Wifey. I'm your host, respectfully Gabby, and in this podcast we talk all things dating and relationships in this modern day. And if you are new here, hi, I'm Gabby. I'm an online dating and confidence coach where I help you transform from an insecure attachment style to a more secure attachment style. And if you have ever wondered what coaching can do for you, hit the stand link in my bio where I have a few different options to choose from. I do one-on-one coaching that is 8-week transformation program. And if you just want to walk through a certain situation, I am all ears. I have a write-in option if you prefer to just send it that way. I also have a book, by the way. Today, I wanted to talk to you about a headspace that I've been in for the past few weeks. And I decided recently, within the past week or two, to snap out of it because it wasn't getting me anywhere. It was making me bitter. I truly was at the point where I could not stand men. Literally looking at them, I'm like, the fact that you're even breathing my air right now, please look the other way. You're literally pissing me off just by being in the same room as me. And that's not healthy. And that's not how you should be living your life. I realized I fell into this pattern, this bit, because just being in my own situations, I think the last person that I really talked to I'm now in a phase where I'm just like, I just need to focus on myself. This is exhausting. The guys that I have been out with, I'm just like, oh my God, please get me off of this date. They're talking about themselves the entire time. They literally don't care to get to know me at all. And it is really exhausting at a certain point. And then I also just recently had a really good friend got into a situation where we thought that this was the one and then it wasn't. And men really are not it. That, and then just seeing reality show after reality show of guys acting up when the girls aren't around and going off and doing their own thing. I was watching Perfect Match recently and just watching how the men responded when women were in the room, and then just hearing stories about really awful things that men have been doing, got myself so far in this hole of I can't stand men. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes I feel like you have to have this I just don't care anymore, and that's when things will fall into place. But it was to the point of me being extremely bitter. I never want my biases to rub off on any of my clients. I want them to have their own opinions on everything. I want you guys to learn and thrive and grow and believe that there are really great men out there. And I do believe that, but it was just one thing after the next that I'm like, this is unreal. They just want to take and take and take, and I'm fed up and I'm done and I'm not doing it anymore. Went to lunch with a friend of mine and we were kind of going back and forth telling our stories about recent situations that we've been in. They're just filthy human beings. And I was getting so angry about why there's so many great women out there and why there's just so little quality men out there that will step up and make a difference, who are emotionally intelligent, who are doing the things and want to make a woman happy. Why are there so few good men out there? And I was actually getting pissed about it. Later that day, I was talking to my best friend on the phone, and we were going off about how much we can't stand men at the time. And I'm just actually don't like this. I don't like that this is what we've become. We are usually so loving and so caring. And I'm not saying everyone deserves that version of us. I refuse to let a man or let men as a population take that part of me, because I feel angry and I feel bitter and I don't like this feeling and I want to let go of this feeling because I want to start to attract good quality men in my life. And I just don't think if I'm angry and I'm bitter that I will allow that into my life. She was like, actually, no, you're right. Let's hop on the same page and let's do this together, because we need to stop complaining about men. If you're not going to date men, if you really don't like them, fine, take a step back. But don't also add fuel to the fire of talking about how much you can't stand them. Like, I just don't think that that's making the situation any better. I was like, I'm giving us today to let it all out, let all of our feelings out about how much we can't stand them. Come tomorrow, we are both shutting up. We're not talking about how much we hate them. We're not talking about all the negative things. We're leaving it at that, and we're turning a new leaf. If we need to just focus on us, by all means, let's just focus on us. But there's really great men out there, and I think we need to remind ourselves of that. So I want to talk through about how I made that transition from being in this really, really, really bitter spot to now transforming into better energy. Because this isn't the first time that this happened. I think I go through like little spurs here and there of like, okay, I can't stand this. This sucks. I don't want to do this. But there are some mindset things that you can do to kind of turn your world around, because I do think what you put out is what you attract. So if you're constantly negative, if you're always talking crap about a specific gender, oh, they're the worst, they do this, you're subconsciously searching for that. Start putting positive things out there, so that's what you can attract into your life. Had recently, during that period of time, I had someone reach out randomly and was like, what are you looking for in a relationship? And I'm like, why are you asking me this now? I'm like, it's not you, if that's what you're wondering. And he's like, no, you're just always saying like what you shouldn't do and what you shouldn't look for and what you shouldn't. But I think, what do you want? That's what your words, what you're putting out is what you're going to attract. So I'm like, yeah, it's true. And I agree with you. But I also think, you know, sometimes those videos don't do as well. And that's why I don't make them as much. Do you want to walk through certain steps that I have been taking to make that mindset shift? So starting at the top, let's think first and foremost, the story that you have been telling yourself about love, about men, about relationships, about whatever. Take the story and really think about this. You don't have to come up with the very first thing that comes to your head, but really think about this one. For me, I was thinking like, all men are shit. All men suck and they're going to hurt you and they're always going to end up leaving after a certain point. They never end up staying. They're waiting for the chance to just cheat on you. And I have had these thoughts during this span of time. I don't always have these thoughts, by the way. In this phase of irritation with men, these are the thoughts that have come up. I want you to think about the story that you have been telling yourself. Write everything down. Like, what is the story that you continue to play on a loop? And then we're going to discredit everything that we've been taught. For instance, all men are trash. That is one of the stories, one of the narratives that I've been playing out. Subconsciously, I'll start to look for that in everyone, whether that be my friends' relationships, my relationships, random guys that I meet, or television that I'm watching, or songs that I'm hearing. It's just constantly playing on a loop. This is validating the fact that men aren't shit. So what am I going to do? I'm going to change the narrative. I am now searching for proof that there are good men out there, because I want to pick the opposite of the story that I've been telling myself. I know some really, really, really great men in my life that have always been the standard of what I expect in a husband and a boyfriend and really any man that comes into my life. If they can't even meet this like level of standard of just to be in my life, then I probably don't want very much of them anyway. I only want to surround myself with good men, whether that's in a platonic sense or whether that's in a romantic sense. I only want good men around me, because bad, like really awful player vibes, F-boy vibes, the more I allow that into my life, even if it's just platonic, the more I'm saying like, I'm okay with this behavior, and I'm going to start to take their behavior and think, oh, really, I have to watch out for all men. Like, and I don't want that around me. Using the good examples in my life, I don't have good examples of men in your life. You need to make some changes in your life. Really, what you just want to do is to like retrain your mind to believe that there are good men out there, even if it's not your person necessarily. So taking the story that you've been telling yourself, flipping it over to the opposite of that thought, and then searching for evidence to believe the opposite thought. All men are shit. Believing the opposite of that would be there's really great men out there. And then search for proof on that. And then once you have your proof, it's a constant reminder. You have to, every time that little negative voice comes up in your head about how you can't stand the other sex, you have to remind yourself constantly, no, that's not true. Good men exist, and this is why. This is the proof that I have. Do that with every story that you have been telling yourself. Number 2, be careful of the words that you're speaking and what you're taking in. So if your friends are constantly moaning about men, of how much you can't stand them, you need to change the topic. The topic can no longer be about men. Live more interesting lives so that when you get together with your friends, you're talking about how you're on your glow up journey, how great and amazing you are, and what you're doing in your life and the hobbies that you've come to form. It's all about you instead of putting the attention on some other guy that really does not even deserve for you to be talking about them. So be careful the words that you're speaking. If you're constantly negative and you're saying, oh, like, ugh, gosh, I can't stand this guy and this guy did this and blah, blah, blah. That is the story that you're reaffirming to yourself. So be very careful about the things that you're telling your friends. And I had gotten to the point with my friend where we were both going back and forth. And I was like, honestly, I really hate the fact that I'm being bitter. This is the last that I'm talking about. I'm talking negatively about men. You're either on board or you're not. And she's like, no, let's be on board together. So maybe have that conversation with your friends of like, this is exhausting. We cannot continue to do this anymore. It's like not getting either of us anywhere. So be careful of the words that you're speaking. Be careful of what you're also consuming. So whether that be music, content online, social media content, I was realizing like all of the music that I had been listening to is like really ratchet. And sometimes when I get in these moods, I'll go and listen to like Future and like, just really like gang music, and I love listening to that, especially in the gym. But I think it is a subconscious reminder of like the types of men that are out there. And so I started even changing the music that I'm listening to like a more uplifting, positive vibe. Change the music maybe that you're listening to and really listen to like the words that they're speaking out loud, because that is like almost brainwashing you, and there's science to back this. But this is brainwashing you into feeling some type of way. Be careful of what you're consuming. Also, content's a really big thing. What I've done recently, and I love this actually, I realized that there was a few guys that I can count on like a hand or two, reaffirmed, too cheeky, too player, too pretty much knows everyone in Dubai, follows a bunch of Instagram girls, likes every girl's pictures, slides into probably every girl's DMs, slides into my DMs. Hey, miss you. You've seen me once, you made plans and then you bailed on them, so you don't miss me. You don't even know me. You don't know anything about me. So what I've done was those people that I've had just kind of sitting there and that I see their content pop up and I get this like irritation inside of my soul. I went and I, for some reason, was like, why am I holding on to them? Because they've really done nothing but like trigger that like, leave me alone. I don't know why you're even existing in my presence. They've triggered that inside of me. And I just don't think that's healthy. And I'm here to protect my energy. I can either mute them, but if I muted them and if I muted their stories, their posts, it's not going to do anything because they're still going to see my content and they still like my stuff. They still slide in my DMs. They still like my Instagram stories. And it's a little bit frustrating because I'm like, why are you pulling on my energy when you want nothing to do with me? And it's very evident that you want nothing to do with me. Otherwise you would be carrying on. And it's these guys too that it like pisses me off because I see their dating profiles and I see that on their dating profiles looking for a relationship. No, you're not. You're literally not looking for a relationship. And like, maybe it's just not with me, but I really refuse to believe that all of these people are like in the same boat. I don't want to talk poorly about anyone, but It's the same type of man, the emotionally unavailable man who will slide into your DMs. Hey, miss you. Hey, you look so good. Let's get together soon, knowing that he's not going to make any type of plan. It started to just really piss me off at a certain point. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to remove them as a follower. I'm also going to unfollow them. And to be honest, since I've done this, I'm like, I feel so free. I feel amazing. Like, I feel like I can breathe again. They're not like in my energy. I'm like releasing all the toxicity so that any guy that I do follow from here on out, it's like a good, wholesome man that has value to bring to the table that isn't going to leave me triggered at the end of the day. So I truly think that you should do a social media detox and really get to the bottom of, hey, who's low-key subconsciously triggering me whenever their profile comes up. The best thing that you can do, I swear, is to just unfollow them and remove them as a follower so that they're still not pulling on your energy. And lastly, think about the type of person that you actually want in your life and not the types of people that you just don't want. While it's useful to know what you don't want, I think it's more beneficial to know exactly what you're looking for so that you're able to be an energetic match for that, and write down maybe a few things that, like, I guess just qualities that you're looking for in someone. See if you're a match for that. If you're looking for someone who's like super goal oriented, there's a lot going for them, do you have a lot going for yourself? Because you want to be an energetic match for the type of person that you want in your life. If this person's super athletic, super fit, are you going to the gym and are you taking care of yourself? If not, this is a really great opportunity to do so. It starts when you become the energetic match, and the more hate that you're putting out there, the more energy that you're giving to it, it's just not gonna get you very far. So with all that being said, that is it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you got some kind of value out of it. And if you have, please leave that 5-star rating, leave that thumbs up, turn on your bell notifications so you'll never miss another episode. And I will see you all next Tuesday.